Yo, over the past year, we have seen some very polarizing conversation coming from a very polarizing person that's Kanye West. A lot of people have a lot of ideas on his content and what he's saying and how he's addressing it. Let's talk about it. Good, better, and different. If not Kanye, then who? My personal opinion is that we have in our minds as we're growing up, we had a lot of dreams and aspirations. We wanted to be billionaires. We wanted to talk to the president. We wanted to sell a lot of records. And basically Kanye has done all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a level of respect that needs to be put on the bro's name. And I think there's also a level at which we gotta understand that there's it's just an opinion. It's something that someone's saying. My main thought has always been don't apply if it don't apply. You know what I mean? So if it's not, if someone's saying some things, it's just their opinion and we keep it moving, but sometimes we embody it, we take it so personal and it becomes the hotbed conversation of America. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If not Kanye, then who? I know he's done a lot of things, the White Lives Matter shirts has was on and a lot of things he just said on Drink Champs. I watched the entire Drink Champs interview all the way through. A lot of people did not, but I did. And really heard the homie out because I don't like to go just by someone's opinion. We want to go by what the person actually is saying and and how you understand what that person is saying. So yeah, let's talk about it. This is that conversation. Let's get it out there and let's see what the culture is saying about Kanye. If not Kanye, then who? Let's talk about it.
For first off, I want to start off with everyone's gripe with Kanye. Like I know at some point in time in his entire career, or whenever you decided to tap into the things that Kanye was doing, there was something that was displeasing to you. There was something that you didn't feel comfortable with or whatnot. So I want to start there, only because in order for us to we're trying to get into the mind of what he's on, what he's trying to do. I know a lot of people, including myself, even though I'm not a Kanye fan per se of the music, but I am someone who loves free thinking and just really really trying to support him in the ways that I feel like we should, only because I feel like he's necessary at some point, and we'll get to that later. But in light of that, I do want to kind of just go through the room and just see, what are some people's gripes with him? Like, is it the way he speaks? Is it a particular stance that he takes or whatnot? Just so we can start there, and then let's see if we can just kind of decode and break this whole thing down. I know some of it might be a little bit impossible, but let's just try anyway. I'll start with myself. Um, for me, uh, my gripe with Kanye is he is it about being pro-creative, or is it about being like pro-black? And I think it's a hard, touchy subject, but for me, I've always been a pro, like for creators. I'm about creators. You know what I'm saying? My family is from Central America. We're Belizean, so we got a little bit of uh, you know Mexican heritage and Black heritage, so to speak, Spanish heritage, so to speak. So for me, it's like, of course, I consider myself Black. It's no way around it. But at the same time, I think with the mind state of uh, being more of a human being, being more of a creative, being more of somebody who looks at people, as humans first, regardless of the things that went on, in the world. And my gripe with Kanye is always just kind of him dancing between those. Like, he says things that he can be pro-black with, like with the Bush don't like black people or whatnot. Then talking about the companies, how they restrict black people from a lot of things as far as moving forward, which I get that 100%. But then, the stance is Another stance is just the creative aspect, and in his creative rants, I feel like he's all over the place, and maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know, because sometimes I could be all over the place with me being a creative, but all I'm saying is it's hard for me to pinpoint my support for him when I don't know where he's going. You know what I'm saying? So that I think that's my gripe. Anybody else want to chime in?
My gripe My gripe would be, and I'm a supporter. I'm here for the creatives. I'm here for freedom of speech. I'm here for people who disrupt, people who say what needs to be said. A lot of stuff that Kanye was saying, the stuff that we kind of say in our own homes, in our own privacy, kind of took our conversations to the mainstream for the most part. But my issue or my concern with him would be why the White Lives Matter show? Like we were beyond that. So we were on. We understand the Black Lives Matter organization and we understand what happened with that whole thing. Okay, cool. We're beyond that. We're past that. Let's move it on. Let's move on. And and why talk about George Floyd? Like why even bring that up? Like that wasn't even necessary. So I didn't agree with those particular things, and then bring it up with misinformation to kind of like pull on those scabs of the people who were hurt by that. So that's what I would ask. Like why even talk about that? Why even go there? You know what I mean? It wasn't even necessary.
Good point. Good point. Big Y in the
I'm
building.
waiting. I'm waiting for Mahoney to get up here before I even think about.
Oh, shout out to Mahoney.
Yeah, there she go. And I ain't even gonna say Maisha acting like she don't be having things to say of that. But anyway,
Mahoney, the
my
floor is
thing,
yours.
I listen to it. I'm like, why motherfuckers be really? Y'all know I fuck with Kanye, so that's a clear one. I'm a Yeezy light. But why motherfuckers be going to Kanye for anything other than art things? Like, I don't give a fuck what no artist damn near say about nothing not art. Like everything else you say, that shit is a blurred line. You know what I mean? Like it's Kanye. What is?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Who's that?
Okay, this DJ Layla. I'm just now figuring out the
Hey,
microphone. The speaker leakers.
what up? What up? What up?
Cool. I was over here trying to figure out the microphone. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But but yeah, I definitely I don't know. But I said like, and this is what was on my mind before I jumped on the Clubhouse. Like N.O.R.E apologizing for Kanye got me mad. I don't know about y'all, but
Me
how
too.
you feel about N.O.R.E going on apologizing for having him on there? I understand he said some shit that you don't want to say, but we apologizing for Kanye West.
I'm trying to hold back my comments, but to me that was some sucker shit because at the end of the day, bro, you put out this is your platform. You said from the door that you're not drink politics or drink religion. It's drink champs, bro. You get drunk, you ask questions, you give people a platform to talk. We know it. The fans of Drink Champs know what it is. I've been rocking with Drink Champs basically since day one. You know what the platform is, and not even that. On top of that, they put a disclaimer on for like a minute before the whole thing went on. I think it was very clear that his point that what he was talking about did not reflect on Drink Champs because he was asking the questions as he was asking them. I was listening very tightly, very closely, and I just felt like I didn't feel like we needed to apologize at all. I think enough was enough. He said from the door, we understand what Drink Champs is. We saw the disclaimer, and Kanye said what he said, and I just let it roll. Like, hey, we provide the platform. We're here for free speech. He said what he said. We're gonna keep it moving. I don't even feel like he needed to apologize at all. I think he just
Man,
kept it moving.
he played himself when he said, "We not think champs, we drink champs." Oh, don't do that. Now you can't never have Big Y on there because he ain't gonna never say nothing you're gonna be able to let slide.
Right,
Well,
right.
I gotta say I didn't actually see the interview, but what did he actually say that was so bad?
He did fuck up and say like, and I don't want to say fuck up because I feel like he accountable for his own shit, but he said George Floyd died from
Okay, I seen that part.
yeah, that, and then he also said he said a lot of stuff about Jewish people, right? And the thing about that was, if you watch the interview, he also went very clear and even got, like, put himself under the microscope and said, I'm jealous of Jewish people because I want that for my community, basically. Like, I want low abortion rate for my community. I want stick togetherness with my community. I want marriages to stay together for my community. So you're not going to benefit off of us, and we not want what you have as a result of it. Like, I don't see what you like. Angry black man ain't a crime to me. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, and he made it clear, like, I don't hate all of them. Like, it's love. It's all love. We all one human being. But while we out here banging on people, that's his choice. To where he kind of was is taking his energy right now over the people who own bigger shit than what he owned. You know, so I don't know. I don't think he hates
My,
Jewish people.
my take on Kanye West, though, to be honest with you, man, he's an attention seeker. You know, if you ever notice the times of things that he does things, it's at times when he's not getting any publicity.
Right, but that's his
You know,
job, right? Like,
yeah,
every
I mean,
entertainer is kind of
yeah, it's your
that, right?
job to do that. But I mean, what I mean by a serious attention seeker is like the White Lives Matter. He knew what kind of reaction that was gonna get.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Don't get it wrong. He knew what kind of. He knew even saying the George Floyd thing on there. He knew what type of reaction it was gonna get. You know what I mean? But the whole object is to keep your name relevant.
right,
You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's a publicity stunt. To be honest with you. You know what I
uh-huh.
mean? That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
It's more of a publicity stunt because every time, whether it's about Kim, whether it's about anybody, you know what I mean? It's all it's to get people aroused and keep them talking about Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So to take anything like even if those are his real beliefs, you know what I mean? Of the way he reacts and everything, I kind of think he got messed up after the Jay-Z thing. You know what I mean? And when he was said on, I think it was on the award show when he said Jay-Z gonna kill me for this or something. You know what I mean? That Illuminati shit is real. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, everything that if you ever look at the time and the presence of the times he comes out, man, it's just is basically okay. They ain't talking about Kanye enough. You know what I mean? Let's pick a fight here. Let's do this right here. Let's do this right here because he's a master marketer.
Right.
Yeah. Are we viewing uh Kanye in any activist capacity?
No,
Like,
I hope not.
Oh, good question.
I hope not
No,
either.
hell no. We're looking at Kanye as being who he is,
So that's what I'm saying.
a creative genius.
You know, the album didn't get too many hits. He did good. He did well for the person that he is, but he did terrible. Well, actually, he did terribly for the person that he is. But you know what I mean? There's just a lot of things that goes along with that. I really personally don't even take him seriously.
Yeah, I only take him serious as like he's an artist. He's just doing an artist version of everything. You know what I mean? Like, and I think every artist's job is to get attention. I know I'm not always happy with how every artist get attention, but damn, we be watching Marilyn Manson's and all type of devil worshiper dudes doing this shit every day. And it's like, we got this standard for the black ones. You just can't get out of line. You just can't get out of line. You
Yeah,
can't say wrong shit. You can't get out of line. And he like a nigga who's like, no, I'm telling you, I'm bringing nigga shit to business. Like, I'm getting out of line. And y'all haven't figured out how to be a billionaire. So,
yeah.
like, they trying to get rid of me since I got here. Like, what, like, I don't know.
I mean, he even talks different at this point. You know what I mean? Is what if you ever listen to me, well spoken, he well proper
For
right
sure.
now. You know what I mean? Even talks different. You know what I mean? And some people, and it could have been affected. I think that started happening around the time his mom died.
Mm-hmm.
He started going left. You know what I mean? He
His
got
mom was
mental
a his
problems. He
mom was
got
an English
this.
teacher though. I think his mom was some type of English teacher or something like that. So I think that would attest to his articulation.
Yeah, but before that, he was more ghettoish. You know what I
Trying to be
mean?
hood or trying to be
Yeah, he was
or
more
acting like
hood.
it.
Right,
He was
right.
more hood talk. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But if
After
you think of every rapper, do you know? And I'm just asking, but I feel like most rappers once they get money, they all their articulation change. Like I don't feel like Gucci Man talk the same.
He don't. He really don't.
no,
Yeah,
he
Nah,
don't.
big facts.
but that comes
That's like
from,
rich nigga shit.
yeah,
These are
and that also
Jeezy.
comes from training too. Like, they run companies. They have to get some level of training to be able to, speak and talk about the things that they want to talk about or
Media training.
diffuse. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
media training. They do get media
Yeah.
training.
Yeah,
Man,
but
that company needs
even with that though,
Capio.
I mean, you got to think about it. Your company, you keep changes as it goes up. You know what I mean? So you're not too much around the people you grew up with anymore. You know what I mean? Once your status changed to especially where they status at. So yeah, you're gonna get the articulation, you're gonna get the language, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But at the same time, hanging around the same people, hanging around these people is going to change you regardless. Now,
Right.
it all depends on the to me it all depends on the information that you take in, or you don't have to change, but then you have to change. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And
If
then
you
that,
want to stay, you have to change.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
And the media
Man,
training is super important. It happens, and yeah, your dynamics change, but your language changes, especially as you have more experiences, get more money, have more responsibilities. All of your vibe is gonna change. You went from, what I'm saying, chilling in the trap to eating caviar and drinking
Yeah,
champagne. The language is talking to people who are making money and talking about life insurance plans and all kinds of stuff and millions of dollars. Yeah, the whole scene changes.
man, Maisha moved from LA to Atlanta and be like, whoa, there.
You a lie. Don't put that out there.
Look, Shelby said it. You a lie. That wasn't no LA version of the shit.
I still say mustard. Don't do that.
Okay. But do you
I'm
say
just
core?
wondering.
Or do you
I'm
say
just
And,
core?
and
wondering.
you and you
Don't do that.
also start saying that there. You add,
Okay.
oh, that
let
there.
me get that.
I thought we was on Kanye.
I'm just saying we all do it.
Hey, but y'all just gave a prime example of what we talking about. After so long in a situation or so long around the same situation, it's gonna adapt to the situation.
Right. Do y'all
That's
think
Period.
he
true.
adapting or you think he like adapting and growing or you think he code switching?
and I think he's speaking to what he sees. I think he's seeing some stuff that we're not able to see because they're talking about things on like a billionaire
Because we're
level.
not
So
in
they're
that
around
room.
where we're not in that room. So a lot of that stuff may even just be coded. He may just be speaking to the people who get that type of talk. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the things that he was saying was sound personal. It's not like there was some things going on. How I got 5% or something and he get 10% of it. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff sound like stuff they just be talking about. He's just putting out airing some stuff publicly. You feel what I'm saying? So
But
I don't
why
know.
Shaq don't sound different?
Shaq ain't no
Shaq,
billionaire.
Shaq a real nigga though. Like Shaq is a real nigga, real
Shaq ain't no
That's
billionaire
what
though
I'm
nigga.
saying.
either.
So money, just because you're around money and you get money and you doing around, man, that shit don't got that shit just corny. At some point in time, you become a fan to wherever you at, and a fan to the motherfuckers you around, and all that shit. You start imitating the way they talk and imitating the way they walk and all that shit. Just because you get some money and you around a circuit of people, that don't mean you got to start talking and chucking and jiving acting like a fucking Tom around them. Kanye is a sucker. He wants the
Yeah,
attention
I
and
agree with you.
acceptance.
I agree
He
100% with
wants the attention and acceptance from the Jews and the white folks. When the motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck.
I
We in this
concur.
entertainment industry and they've been having our back. They fucking foot in our back since the beginning of the time.
I
You know what I'm
concur.
saying? Hold,
you. Oh, he definitely is a
pushing
clown.
everybody to
He's definitely the
man,
token.
please.
He's definitely the
You
token
could
He's
be
right
been
now.
yourself. You
he's
could be
been
yourself.
convinced though by his people that he's not of the old Kanye. So he's been convinced that
That's
he is
because he's not
above,
around nobody.
that
He
keeps
not
it real
around.
with
He
him.
He
not
not
around.
around.
Nobody telling him the
He not
truth.
around the seduce from Chicago that he was around. You know what I mean? He had his mama died. He had a nervous breakdown in the cut some motherfucking where ain't nobody paying attention to really what's going on. Dude, don't his crackers cheese and slid off his cracker. He rich, so he hang
I'm
around
dead.
anybody. He hang around anybody and everybody. You know what I'm saying? What kind of motherfucker ain't got his own house that got a billionaire? This nigga sleeping from pillow to post everywhere with a fucking backpack. You know what I'm saying? With shit in it. You know what I mean? Like he just on some weirdo shit. And he want the attention. You know what I mean?
That's
And all
and
the attention,
that's
the
my whole thing right
publicity,
there.
all publicity is good publicity. Just like Easy E said. You you know what I
Right.
mean? And he getting the publicity to keep his name and all that shit to sell all the bullshit clothes and the bullshit shoes and sell all that shit for millions of dollars. Because guess what? If he didn't have the publicity and he had a range of who he was, don't nobody wouldn't buy that shit. Them clothes look like slave clothes from 12 Years a Slave. Them Peter Pan genie tennis shoes he's selling. He make up any goddamn thing and put his name on it. And you know niggas, if it got a big name and bigger hype behind it, ooh, we gonna buy it. It's 400. You know what I mean?
But I
Kill
gotta
it,
be honest.
man.
I gotta be honest. We a victim of the same shit because at the
Exactly.
same time, and
We
I'm
are
gonna tell you,
death direct victims of it.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because once again, he got us talking about him. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Right
Yeah,
now.
But we all,
and he's
but
been
that's the thing. We already called him a master at what he do.
that's
Yeah.
So
facts.
how, like, what's our expectation? I just don't have no
I
expectation
don't
of
have
nothing
expectations
other
for
than just
Kanye.
knowing how to drum up drama.
Period.
I don't Now, have expectations for Kanye.
I just
Now I
expect
don't
him to
have.
be Kanye. That's my only
I think
expectation is for him to
I
be
think
Kanye.
he been brainwashed for real, for real.
Man, the only way a clown gonna survive is if we keep going to the circus, man. You know what I'm saying? If we don't go to
Hmm.
the circus, clown don't survive. Ain't no difference from Kanye and Charleston motherfucking White. We keep giving these clown ass niggas a platform to
Oh,
talk about them. That's what keep them popular.
you might as
If
well
you
go and throw
stop talking
academics
about
in
them, and
there
you don't
too.
hear about them no more.
You might as well go and
You
throw
know what I'm
academics in
saying?
there too.
So
You said who?
Academics too.
DJ
You know
Who?
what I
academics.
mean? It's like and internet, this it ain't our fault. Internet just gave everybody a voice, a podcast, even this shit we doing right now, Clubhouse, everything. It gave everybody a voice to publicly talk about shit and put motherfuckers on blast and talk about and make niggas certain people a topic of conversation. And now he's another one. Instead of being back in the day quietly, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers get out of line, a gun gets shoved in their mouth in the parking lot, you never hear from them fucking again.
talk about it, Big.
Well, we know where you come from.
Talk about it, Big.
That's all motherfucking mafia where I come
Big
from.
said what he said. Okay, but I have a question. So is it possible to
Wait,
just
we can't hear you that good, Jocelyn.
oh, can you hear me now?
A little better.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay. Are you close to the phone? Okay, go ahead.
I am. So
Okay, go ahead.
my question is what how much credence do we give to just losing yourself, right? We have the church boys who end up in the trap just losing themselves in the streets. We got so and I'm just using like a basic, you know what I mean, ideal outside of Kanye, but then you get to the Kanye position, everybody's telling you yes, nobody is willing to tell you no, nobody's willing to lose their livelihood or their check or whatever their status. So to what extent do we blame right, we can leave the mental health thing alone. That's a thing. We realize that. But to what extent do we also blame potentially losing yourself in this scenario? Definitely not having Kanye's back, but asking a question for the sake of conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the behaviors that he has, it's almost like step by step he's lost a piece of himself. Like we're talking about, oh, he ain't in Chicago no more. Well, nah, he been a long way from Chicago for quite some time, right? We're talking about 20 years of not even being in that element. He always was the cornball, like out the gate. Everybody always looked at him as the corny guy, right? So, to what extent did he lose some of those things, and how much of himself did he lose, and then pick up everybody else because there was nothing else around to pick up, and think that you're building yourself, right? You get around a whole lot of people who are doing business, and maybe you don't even like that business, but you learn so much of it, they give you a job, boom, now you stuck in that job, you never get to your passion because, right, you lost yourself in that scenario. How much of this do we think is just he lost himself in the scenario, in the associations, in the business, in the life, in the shine, in the, you know what I mean, the circle not being real, all of that kind of stuff, and how much is attributed to he's
because he
crazy,
got
he's
so.
off
Well,
the
Um,
12.
well,
I don't think Kanye lost any of
thank you.
himself.
That's what I was about to say.
I think
Okay.
Kanye is, they say when you get money, all that does is enhance the person that you
Absolutely.
already are. Now you
Right.
can do it in excess. So if you were an asshole and you was broke as fuck, now you just a rich asshole. And so I think the danger is, like, we know it's mental health, but the danger in his issue with bipolarism is this is clearly a manic episode, and where you would deal with that in the privacy of your own home or with your family or wherever you're at. They're giving his manic episodes a fucking platform, and
I
that's
agree.
dangerous.
Facts.
And I think another thing, if you look at like high level autism and real high level artistic people, that line between the both of them is fucking thin as shit. So I think he's at such a level. I think the correct term is idiot savant. When you're so smart, you borderline on, like, really. I don't want to say crazy, but I don't have a better word right now for it. I think he's on a platform and a thing where he's thinking of shit that is just all conversations with himself, and we're just the audience to the shit he going through with himself.
And I concur.
No, that's a fact
I
because if you
Go ahead.
listen, if you watch the
I concur.
actual interview, with him on Drink Champs, I mean, even the previous two interviews, you could actually see him. It looks like he's really talking to himself. He's not really looking at nobody.
He never looks at
He's literally
anybody.
in his head. Like I'm glad you pointed that out.
Outside of him being wrong about some facts, what have he said that's that crazy?
Not that anything is crazy. I just think that's what I'm saying. I don't have another word for it. I just think that it's dangerous to be having a manic episode on such a very high platform, because now
But
we're at a
negativity
time,
sells.
huh?
See, but negativity sells. See,
Exactly.
that's the
And, and,
media's
and,
that's the media's job.
and, and yeah, the media's
So they'll put it out there as far as I'm looking for my mouth. They'll put it out there as far as um it as long as it gains ratings, it's going out there as far as media. I personally don't think Kanye has a problem. I think
Me
what's
neither.
really happening is, like you said, he got to a point that reached the status, and the people that you hang around, you usually adapt to.
That
You know what I
George
mean?
Floyd comment was off the wall, beat out. I'm sorry, that was off the
No, no,
wall.
that was off the wall.
Wow.
But listen to what I'm saying though. He's not hanging around black. It's probably about what 5% black billionaires. So with the other 80% is white. So who's you having your conversations with?
himself.
No, he's having
Hmm.
these conversations with these white folks who's putting this shit in his head.
That's true.
You
That's
see what
true.
I'm saying? And that's the way I look at it. Oh
And
boy,
the
you
fucked
you
up part about it
you's the
is
token
they
black guy.
looking at him like a clown.
Yeah, he's a token black guy for them. Black
And they
white guy.
look at him like a clown. It ain't
Yeah.
no
But
different from when Jesse Jackson was apologizing to the Jews kissing ass over and over again. Keep apologize. How many fucking times we gonna apologize?
yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
now
but
he
see
doing
Facts.
the same thing. White
that's
lives
what I said.
matter.
They
But
gotta
Oh
I
restrict.
already
no,
told.
but Kanye wasn't apologizing to the Jews. As a matter of fact, he was tearing up the Jews the entire time. He was coming out them DEFCON 3 cell, like he was on it.
No, I
So
ain't talking
again,
about apologizing to them. I'm talking about being apologetic on behalf of white people. Slavery's a choice. White lives matter and all of that type of shit. Like, come on, man.
Right. That's the dangerous part, because that shit don't affect him and his $1 billion-ness. That affect niggas like us.
And then he sit
Right.
back and pick a fight with the black people. You see what I'm saying? Just like what Boosie's like, all right, he's like, tell Boosie to come slap me. You feel me? Because he knows his position.
Yeah,
He
I get it.
knows his position. He knows what it is. It's nothing but keep Kanye's face. Even the argument. Let's take the argument with the Adidas. Did y'all see that interview? I mean that backstage thing when he was talking to how he was talking to Adidas, or was that Macy's?
Right,
Nah,
because they
I
took
mean, was
his
that?
they took his thing and made their own Adidas out of his design.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm
Yeah,
the only thing. Who did he tell that he's the only thing keeping them going? It was one of them clothing places. Was it Macy's?
it definitely was the Gap. A Gap was one of them conversations for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of them
yeah. He
conversations.
wasn't lying about that at all.
It
Yeah,
was a gap.
but but if you actually listen to what he was saying to them, it made sense and it didn't make sense at all. He's like he really in his mind, I am Jesus. You know what I mean? I am Jesus to y'all.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that
but
is
that's not
And I'm
new.
like, boy, when
no.
once he
Like
Oh,
started that shit, I
can
was
y'all
like,
hear me?
Jordan used to say he was Jesus on the court, and they called him that.
Facts.
That's the thing I keep watching with him. Is like, dude, what is he doing that nobody who got what he got has done? Like everybody's clowning that way. Howard Stern. Remember we were saying about Howard Stern when he made all that money to where he went? Like clownery, craziness, no line. Where's your ethics? Like this is some stupid shit. Why are we even watching this?
Hmm.
best
Why
headlines
would you?
ever.
Bam! You see what I'm saying? But if we know he know how to play the game, when I hear him talking about Boosie and people like that, I be thinking he think in his mind, nigga, I just missed you in the same conversation as Disney. Nigga, you ain't never be mentioned in that conversation.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Period. And I'm just throwing out the biggest brands and putting regular niggas with them. What are you talking about? Nobody wasn't talking about you aligning you with this shit ever. So it's like, all right, I could throw stones at them all day. But one, if we talking about violations, all the hip hop music is in violation as far as like most of it, 80% of hip hop music. Like we've been on. I'm not racist at all, but we've been on Jews the whole time from NWA. That been part of the.
Hmm.
That's the problem they was having with Jerry Heller and all that. It's like that's the first insult gets thrown out. So is it because he a square nigga trying to come across as a gangster nigga, trying to come across as a politician, trying to come across as an artist and as a designer and all this, and we just want the nigga to shut the fuck up because it seemed like he's speaking for us and he not? Or is it because the
He
nigga
definitely
just
don't speak.
crazy?
he
I can
just flat
guarantee you.
ass crazy. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely don't
He
speak for.
not he
I
not he not speaking for us. He not speaking for nobody. He not even speaking for white lives or none of that shit. He just flat ass a loony bin.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
think he's crazy
Burnt
at
the
all.
fuck out. He's gone.
I don't think he's
You know
crazy
what I
at all, and I
mean?
do
I don't
think
think
he's
he's
speaking
crazy at
for
all.
himself.
Yeah, crazy like a
I
fox.
actually believe he a puppet. But you know what I
That
mean?
nigga's a couple of sandwiches from
I
a
think he's a
picnic,
puppet.
man. That nigga's burnt.
I think they built him into a puppet. You know what I mean? And I think
Man,
Jay
this
Z
nigga
probably
did
had
this
something to
nigga
do
did
with
a this
it.
nigga did a concert on behalf of Larry Hoover. Who was that for? What part of government was that for?
Be
That's for the
clear.
real ones.
This nigga said,
Be
I'm
clear.
Larry Hoover's dream, nigga. That's chaos in order at the same
Hmm.
time.
All right, that's just for the simple fact that he from Chicago, and
All right,
that's the
what he
most
supposed to do?
rebel. That's the most rebellious thing you can do as far as okay, this is what I'm gonna do for Chicago. I'm gonna push the free Larry Hoover,
Man, of
but then
all the
I'm still gonna
millionaire
go.
gangster
But I'm
rappers in
still
LA,
gonna
they
go.
haven't done one for the OG. And we got
Mm.
some millionaires and some real heads that they could have did a concert for, a benefit for, to get out of jail
Okay,
or anything
fuck
else.
all that. Just talking about free Larry Hoover. Nigga, you a billionaire. Put $500 million into a motherfucking law, into a whole motherfucking caseload and lawyers and investigators that can reopen Larry Hoover's case from back then. You want to stand up and show something like you doing something. Fuck all this talking and concerts and throwing shit. You got the money tangible right there to go do it.
If
You
I'm
understand what I'm
Kanye, I'm
saying?
like,
This
you want me
motherfucker,
to not be a billionaire to do what?
you screaming free
M-
Larry Hoover. And just
But
like all these
this
other
ain't as
motherfuckers,
important
they
as
get
that.
money. They get money. You know what I'm saying? If you want to help and be a part of a movement and talk all this free motherfucker shit, you can start spring jump the whole thing by taking some of your richness and putting it behind a lawyer and really getting somebody out of jail. That's just like my homeboy Free Lil Hawk. Okay, fuck all these making songs. I'm going to this shit to the meetings with these lawyers and doing what we need to do and get the homie back in court to get him out. You know what I mean? All this extra just talking and doing this and that, that shit ain't nothing but publicity. Still, all it's doing is hurting him more because it's bringing up his pain. He gotta watch this shit over and over again. Everybody talking his name,
Facts.
wanting him to come home again, and he still ain't getting out of jail. So fuck that sucker shit he doing with that. That ain't shit. A lot of
He
these
asked
same
him to
fools
do
be
it.
doing the same. They did that same suck ass shit with Tookie Williams. They talked all that shit. You knew that fool was guilty long time ago. What is you bringing up all this stuff about did try to get him pardoned and all this shit, man? They finna kill this nigga. No matter what you talking about, they finna kill this nigga. And what they do? They killed that nigga. You know what I mean? Free Geronimo
I get
Pratt.
what
Locked
I
his
get
ass
what you're
back
saying.
up.
I get what you're saying, but still at the same time, it's like let's think about who we talking about here. And like I said, I'm not a Kanye fan at all, but he's clearly one of the greatest of our generation for sure. And in my brain, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay,
Mm.
man, it's so easy to call somebody crazy and just write them off. It's easy. It's easy to do that. You know what I'm saying? But what's the more difficult thing to do is really, really try to analyze what is he really saying. That's why I'm not mad at N.O.R.E for bringing him back because first, you know what I'm saying, when N.O.R.E was on his way and EFN was on their way to doing great things, Kanye said, "Yo, I'm finna come on your platform. I'm finna go all the way up." And from there, they started winning awards and everything. Then, when the world, all of these companies tried to shut him out, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, from him having a voice, then he called his man N.O.R.E, and N.O.R.E said, "Yo, come through, talk your shit." Now, of course, he didn't agree with a lot of things that Kanye was saying, but I don't fault N.O.R.E for that because N.O.R.E did what a real friend would do is reciprocate the same thing that Kanye did for you, which come talk your shit and come do your thing. So what I'm saying is, in the midst of all of this stuff that Kanye do, is there a level of activism that you can really look at and think about and say, okay, what are these certain things that he is doing to help shape better narrative for black owners, for black entrepreneurs, for black creatives and shit like that? Like, what can you take from it instead of saying he just crazy? What can you take from it to be able to move that and maneuver that into being a millionaire or a billionaire? Because it's very little of us in the billionaire column, and he's there. That's my question to everybody.
My
Well,
thing is,
even if
to
you
be
minus
honest with,
taking though, if you don't take nothing from him, not nothing, it's still opportunity in the world every day for you to mash forward and take the necessary steps to have that type of success in all different type of aspects without him. You understand what I'm saying? He used his, because guess what thing he did do? He used his popularity from what, who are we? Hip hop, once again, the hip hop nation that runs every single thing that blew up, every single thing that got to do that's relevant in every single thing that's going on in the world right now, from all the entertainment, football, everything. We just had Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre at the Super Bowl last year. You know what I'm saying? So his influence from hip hop is what drove everything, and now he's going into all these different left fields and this, that, and the third. When it all starts, everything that is great and that is only great about Kanye West is who he was, and it comes from hip hop. The rest of that shit is fucking loony binness.
I think, Rob, speaking to the point of the activism and what you can take from Kanye, him speaking on the creative side and being an owner and ownership and all of that, that's good if you chasing paper. But he not in the streets like stomping for the kids that's getting gunned down, for the police brutality. He not fighting that fight for us. So it's hard to kind of say what can you take from Kanye outside of like being a creative and chasing a bag, because they didn't cut his shit off for talking shit about black people. They didn't cut his shit off when he, you know, running rampant or having a manic episode about our people, talking down to our people. They cut his shit off when he started talking bad about they people, when he started talking shit about the gatekeepers. So I don't really know. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, what can you really take from? I wouldn't even use the word activism in the same sentence as Kanye.
That's a good point. Definitely a good point. Anybody else?
In Kanye Slenderland.
Nah, it's definitely not slander because, man, for me, like I said, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, he's done some great things. I think he will continue to do some great things. And if you look at the list of the people that's been next to him, whether it was an artist, whether it was a creator, they've gone on to do great things. You know what I'm saying? Recipes, Virgil, of course. Not saying that they, those people wasn't doing something before, but he's had a hand in a lot of successful people and businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, even back, you seen what Diddy did with his Sean John, and then you seen Kanye come out of nowhere, like yo, it's crazy. Regardless of you liking the clothes or not, he has changed the fashion game as much as he's changed the music game. My only thing is, like my question was, and you guys gave some good answers. My question was really like, what do you take? What do you take from that? No matter who I watch or who I follow, I always try to take something from them. Doesn't matter if they end up turning out to be crazy or have ADHD or PTSD. It doesn't matter for me. It's about what can I take from the good elements of who you are and what you've done, and use that in the fight for whatever we're doing, whether it's fighting on the ground, what I'm saying, with police brutality or homelessness or housing, or all the way up to being a business owner and walking into a meeting along with the other, races that are business owners as well, and standing your ground and keeping your 51+% of your ownership in your company, and making sure that you get the same perks that everybody else would get. Like, I think Kanye's in that fight. He's in that fight of keep your ownership, keep your creativity to yourself. Don't sell your creativity to these other companies and just walk away with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Pass things down to your kids. Like, I think he's in that fight. So I just kind of just take those elements from that. Do I think of him as an activist? No. But does he have activist traits that I can use? For sure, in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna say this just
Carly
on behalf
Robinson want that
of
nigga.
the.
Carly Robinson want that nigga drum kit.
I gotta say this on behalf of the traditional hip hop delegation. The gangster rappers have had it in for us for a long time. That's why Big Y is here today. They seeing us. They seeing this moment, and they trying to catch us weak and make us look like we crazy. But guess what?
Cause
We
you
not
niggas are
doing no more
marks for
damage than
real.
them. We not doing no more damage than them. We painted on the parks more colors and more beautiful shit than them, and now they just want revenge. So just know where the Yeezy hate is generated from. This is generations of this. They would
And
have
we
did no
won
different if it was
too.
most
And we fucking won. And we fucking won, nigga. Death row for life.
ever since Ye burnt 50 Cent in that sales battle, it's been like problems.
Facts. Big
Y'all had
facts.
AC. We had Suge Knight. Y'all had AC alone. Now what?
Don't do us like that.
Hilarious.
But
Don't do us
okay,
like
so I'm glad you said that. Why? Because back to that. Okay, I think, and I'm not saying that the magnitude of shit that's going on is equal, But I'm glad you brought up Suge because you know more than anybody else the things that Suge was really, really doing to help a lot of people out got overshadowed by the bullshit or whatever they
Hell yeah.
say he was on. So speak on that.
So that's for sure. Because one thing's for certain, Suge signed everything and anything that was hot from Los Angeles, whether their music got put out or not. And back then, a tax write-off signing bonus was $250,000. That's more money than a lot of people forever see in their lifetime sometime. You know what I mean? And a lot of things that he did as far as like the Mother's Day dinners and stuff like that, and the things that he did for the community. He was like really on some Frank Lucas shit, you know what I mean? But you never really seen that part. Even, I'm gonna keep it real, even regardless of whatever their deal was or how it went, Tupac was a big ass artist, right? And he was in a big situation, regardless of what his mouth was and how he was and what he did and all of that. He still was a big act. You know what I'm saying? Just to be sitting in jail with $1 million bail for who he was at the time, $1 million wasn't nothing. And Suge was the only person that went and got dude out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And changed his life. And you know, they just it's just the thing. But the thing that messed them up is the wrong influence. Like Suge, just like with Tupac, they were influenced by the wrong people and the wrong things around them, and it caused to bring the empire down. You know what I mean? But as far as the good things that they was doing, you know what I'm saying? Even Pop too. You know what I'm saying? Uh, our community is not the light is not shined on the good stuff that we do. Like, regardless of what you hear about Bloods and Crips, you don't see about it's every holiday and every weekend. It's even to this day, you go to some neighborhoods, they giving away food. They taking old people to work. They got programs that's taking people to doctors and feeding them every day, backpacks, clothing kids, and taking care of stuff. All you hear about is murder, death, kill, the beef. When it's on, when the pressure on, it's a hit. That's what the news focus on. They don't show about the dudes that's paying for the baseball programs, the year on football programs, and paying for the uniforms every year for 500 kids and shit like that. You don't even barely hear about Snoop, what's going on with Snoop Dogg in his football league, and that's the best thing that
Say
he's
that.
ever done.
Say
That's
that.
the best thing that he's ever done
Facts.
in his whole career.
Facts.
His football league is the best thing he's done in his life. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you don't even hear about that as much as unless he push the narrative and show you what's going on with it. You know what I mean? And that's just like with all of us. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
With all black people, period.
And not to cut you off, but you made a beautiful point because that's kind of where my head is at with Kanye. It's like, remember Snoop, Pac, Suge, 50. These are people who've gone through some times that were terrible. Where at some point in time, we probably all looked at him like, man, that nigga ain't shit. He did some bullshit. You know what I mean? And then, just through the grace of, time and God or whatever happened in their life, there was a change in the way that they approach their life. I don't think that it's over for Kanye. As much as I think he be doing some bullshit, I think he's a couple steps away from once again doing something that's very profound and very prestigious for our community and to do something great. I don't know, only time will tell, but you know I just think there's still something in him that's for the betterment of our culture. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, in order for that to happen, like that's not even just with Kanye. What people of power that's doing, especially in our culture, instead of letting them turn the camera and the mic on when they want to do it, we got to make sure you got just like how you pay with that publicist $4,000 a month. You got to make them turn their mic and that camera on when you doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Look, pay
Facts.
attention to this. You got to be able to control the net, especially when you got the power, because he definitely got the power to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when he choose, what fucks him up is he chooses to let them turn the mic on him when he wants to say, uh, white lives matter, or he's a Trump supporter, or you know what I'm saying, all the junk stuff, crazy stuff going on with Kim and their family and all that. He chooses to talk about the nanny and all that. He chooses to talk about all that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of him creating a dope ass documentary on watching him walk through the process on how he designed Yeezy tennis shoes. Now, if he just start doing shit like that, now that's what the culture wants. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
That's what the culture wants. Let's see how you break that down. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to know, like, what's the what makes it so dope for you to say, okay, I'm finna make some shoes out of this bullshit ass rubber and it's gonna be dope. When nobody in the world wouldn't pick that shit because it's a Yeezy, you just got half of a done piece of a shoe. They got that run rubber shoe, look like clogs. Look like a shoe ain't even done, some alien shit. And you sell that shit for $400. What was in your mind when you was thinking about? Show us how you came up with that. That's what's
Right.
gonna move the needle and influence the next creators to say, okay, I'm gonna think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Just like how some of the stuff I don't like is clothes. But like the stuff that dude was wearing on 12 Years a Slave. But it might be the most comfortable shit in the world. Okay, what was your motive when you made this stuff? Why does it feel the way it feel? Why does it show the kids that? You know what I'm saying? Let's see that part. You know what I mean? Kobe did it in Muse.
Yeah.
If you look at the Muse movie with him drawing and doing the whole, you know what I mean? Chris Brown, you know what I mean? We figured out how great he is and dope he is. He let the camera and the people come in, see him do his whole graffiti art.
Yeah, he got off on that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a lot of things you can shed the light on that'll make people think like, damn, if Badru decide to open up and finally show people how dope of an artist he is, you'll never know. Nobody know Badru can draw. I'm telling it now.
Facts. Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of people just gotta expose the finer things and the dope things about stuff that they got going on. You know, I mean, that's what people. Prime example. You get on live every night, Potty Rob. We family. You my bro. I don't have to turn that shit on, but I'm intrigued to see what new sounds Potty Rob gonna come with tonight. What is it gonna be like tonight? What
I'm
is it?
gearing up to do it right now.
What
You
kind of
right.
beats you making right now? These are the things that people gotta do, man. You know what I mean? So, you know.
No, I appreciate that
That's
for
what
sure. For sure. Anybody else with any thoughts?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's what the culture really wants from Kanye is fashion and music. I mean, that's the hallmark of what made him. And with that being said, we didn't have to take what he says as a grain of salt because we know exactly what we do want from him, what his value is, but we also cannot discredit his genius on specific topics. I mean, for years we've been talking about someone shining the light on what the Jews are really doing. And he said that. Like if you listen to his interview, he said a lot of good things and he said a lot of things that you can just be like, I ain't really rocking with it. But is it enough to exude an emotional response? No, because at the end of the day, we know what it is. It's Kanye, the guy who makes dope music and makes dope fashion, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if he makes something dope, if he creates some more music, regardless of what his platform was or what he said on Drink Champs or whatever he said, you're going to still listen to his music because you're going to support that. And so once you realize that, then what he's saying I don't think it just becomes something the person just is talking about. Like in any type of conversation, if it's not for you, you just keep it moving. Like you don't have to reply to everything anybody says. It's just something that was said, and we keep it moving. That's just Kanye. Okay, cool. We're on to the next. But for the fact that who his affiliations are and what he's saying is so polarizing, I don't know. I mean, to me, I just don't take that much stock into it. That's just what that person believes, and that's what's up. Keep it moving. If I line up with it, cool. If I don't, cool. You know, a lot of things he says I do line up with. Some stuff he says I don't, and that's just is what it is. But as a person, I rock with him.
Y'all just better watch out with if Kanye go ahead and buy the whole LA Unified School District and redo all the black schools and go up. What y'all gonna say then? You know what I'm saying? I still believe he gonna do something fire.
I took a tour. It was alright.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, that's crazy. You think he gonna do some more music soon?
I hope. I hope he drops some more music. You know what I mean? He got some stuff, some hot stuff out now, but I hope he's dropping something fresh soon. That would be
Music cures
dope.
all the chatter.
Yes.
Don't it
Period.
though?
You know, coming from me, new music kills all the chatter. As much as he might be crazy and whatever, new music kills all the chatter. The crazy thing is because he has his own that release platform, will we get to hear the music? Are you willing to pay for his platform to get the release of the music? All of that then becomes the conversation.
Speaking of platform too, he's a billionaire. My thing was, why did he just not create his own platform? He kept on getting shut down on so many social media platforms for what they call hate speech. And my question was, bro, just start your own, get your own server, and just start saying what the fuck you
He
want
just
to say. Like,
invested
damn.
in what is it called? Polaris or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, Pilar. But I mean, at the same time, you got to realize when the fire is hot now and he want to say what he want to say, you know, keep in mind that him starting his own platform, he would have to generate the awareness and generate the people on there first before he could talk his shit. So he's still trying to stay on there. I'm pretty sure he still got things in the works where he trying to make his own platforms. But in the meantime, trying to stay relevant.
I don't know because then that feels like if you're looking at it from the Nori perspective, and again, I still feel like Nori shouldn't have back. I feel like that was some sucker shit that Nori did and backtracking. But anyways, but if you look at it from that perspective, um, why would you put your people in that fire? Like, if you know that you can have your own platform and you know you're about to drop some bombs, you know you're about to say some real controversial shit. Why put your peoples out there like that? You know what I mean? Why say I'm gonna take it to this platform when I can create my own and then just hold full accountability and not put my peoples in a position where they could possibly get sued over some shit that I
He he
said.
he he
You
did
know
it
what I
twice. He did it two times on the two interviews before. The same
mean?
thing that can blow you up and make you famous is the exact same thing that can bring you down. You got Nori took it like a G. He took it for what it was worth. He not gonna say, "Oh, yeah, come on my show, blow my shit up," and then now it's like, "Oh, nah, uh, I don't want you on the show because I'm afraid of what you're gonna say." You can't do that. Nah, that's not what a real friend would have did. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Hmm. I feel you. But like I said, I'm still waiting for the homie to come up with his own platform. I'm here for this whole show. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for whatever homie gonna say.
He
I'm
has
here
his
for
own
all the tactics. I'm here
platform.
for all of this.
He
I'm
has his
sorry,
own
which is
stream. He has his own streaming platform. He just bought the Polar platform, or invested in it or something like that, which is mostly conservative, and that's his base. Here's the thing: if he says it to his base, and his base says "rah rah sis boom ba" on Twitter or wherever you follow him, we're still going to talk about it as though we saw it. People are still going to take the clips and post them up. People are still going to talk about it. So the awareness is going to come, but he definitely does have his own show, Jay. You right.
he needs to post all of his views through that platform. Because if he's that polarizing, then stand on your own too. Like I said, there's a lot of things I agree with, but there's some things I'm like, bro, why? Like, you ain't have to do it that way. If you got all the means, then make the means happen. Create your own platform. Don't put nobody at risk but yourself. Then say what the fuck you want to say. Say everything on your shit. You know what I'm saying, bro? Then
Facts.
revolt ain't that fault. Then Drink Chance ain't gotta be worried about they shit. Nobody gotta be worried about their shit. You take it all, and then if they want to take clips of what you're saying, then it could be from there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the content should originate from you, if that's how you want to make it happen. So that, I mean, again, these are things I just question. But again, I'm not. I'm here for him, going against the grain, being a free thinker. I don't think he's crazy at all. I mean, there's some things that we're going through because even a standard of crazy, who makes the standard of crazy? Who says what's right? Like at the end of the day, who creates these standards when you go to the therapist? Who makes that baseline? What is that baseline based on? So these are things that I question all the time. Like, and then he said, I'll negotiate with therapists. I mean, with you have a therapist. I get that because at the end of the day, who makes the baseline? Who told you that this is what crazy is? Because I'm going against the grain because I'm saying something different because I'm saying something that you may not agree with. Not all of a sudden I'm crazy. I don't know. Just things I think about.
Yeah, it's things to deliberate. Man, it was a great room today. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and close this up. Yo, on Wednesday we have a album listening party room with Noah James, a local astronaut. So that's gonna be fire. I'm gonna have a flyer out. I'm gonna send it to y'all. That's gonna start at like 7 p.m. So we're gonna play the album, like play a record, then talk about it, then play another record, then talk about it. It's gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the album is phenomenal, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it. You know what I mean?
Can't
Workload.
wait.
Y'all have a good night.
Okay, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all on Wednesday.
Good conversation, y'all. Peace.
Peace.